So an engaged enterprise means a much more dynamic, authentic relationship with key stakeholders, that it's really engagement. There's a two-way engagement on an ongoing basis. So people say, all right, well, that sounds kind of good at a strategy level, but what are you talking about? I mean, what does that mean down on the ground in terms of a tactical implementation? What do you have to do to kind of, in effect, become an engaged enterprise? I'm going to look at that in two ways. One is internal, the other is external. For this video, let's just kind of focus on internal. I'm going to kind of do it quickly. You can read more about this on our blog. But what does an engaged enterprise mean internally? Okay, number one, strong internal collaboration. Lots of organizations have implemented SharePoint, but do you really use it? Does your organization live on the intranet? Is it a knowledge-driven organization? It's much more a cultural issue than it is a technology issue. So as long as you've got some sort of collaboration tool, do you live on it and use it? Kind of force yourself to go there. Make the organization dependent on it. It'll help you get where you want to go. Number two, an engaged enterprise internally is mobile professional development. So what does that mean? Professional development plans where you have to physically go to a conference room on a certain day at a certain time are becoming incredibly out of date. Obviously, that's true for larger organizations. It also explains why so many people have like no-shows at these training programs. Professional development needs to become mobile. It needs to become virtual. So take a look, and are you doing your you could also, frankly, create better training programs, because by leveraging the scale of your audience now, which could be global, you can invest in better programming, better talent, better methods, and so forth. Third attribute of an engaged enterprise internally is what I'd call RSS feed ubiquity. Do your top 20 executives in the company have their own RSS feeds? Do they have a customized kind of distribution channel for the media that are important to them? If the top executives in the company don't understand this and appreciate this, they'll never get the larger social media digital landscape. So we encourage our clients to work with their top executives and get them to embrace RSS feeds. Fourth thing, shift budgets. I mean, utilizing social media and so forth is no longer experimentation. It's real. So get your content on YouTube, create communities, engage with communities. It's not just about creating your own efforts, but where are your stakeholders kind of communicating and conversing and so forth, and start listening to them and engaging in that. There's a whole strategy to embark there, but you've got to start taking your budgets in a meaningful way and put some effort against that. A fifth area that's important for an engaged enterprise internally is the corporate directory. The corporate directory in a lot of companies remains basically nothing more than an online phone book. I mean, that is like seriously out of date. What people desperately need and want, and if you want to achieve the kind of engagement we're talking about, start to upgrade the directory. So at least have things like photos, bios, areas of expertise. So if you want to know who in the company has expertise in a certain subject matter anywhere in the world, you can click on it and get it. Frequently, you can use the technology that you already have and kind of piggyback on it and just kind of stretch it. In some organizations, take it to the next step. I mean, include in the directory papers that somebody may have written or published, PowerPoint presentations that they've given, and so forth. Don't worry about it becoming too big, but definitely go beyond the kind of white pages, if you will, of an online corporate directory. Two other things for engagement internally. One is what we would call enterprise integration. And for now, all that means is spend time really engaging with HR, with the CIO or the CTO, with general counsel, with customer service. It used to be kind of a nice thing to do for every function to kind of have strong relationships with each other, because there was clearly a benefit to that for the corporation. Now it's absolutely a daily critical imperative. Most senior executives know this. We're now actually advocating the chief communications officers think about embedding some of their people in those functions. Put a communications person in HR, put a communications person in legal, in IT, in customer service. You may want a team in customer service, but there's a requirement to start to think differently about how communications works with the rest of the organization, because the rest of the organization is using social media actively as well now. So is that the responsibility of marketing or HR or communications? The answer is it's a shared responsibility. So the more you can kind of collaborate with and even embed your people in those functions, the stronger we think the corporation will be. And the seventh and final thing is just the overall subject of employee engagement. Engage your employees in some of the strategic considerations that you've got for the future, whether you're in a single function or the overall enterprise. But get them to participate in where the company is going. Many of you have heard about IBM's Jam sessions. Great example. J&J does a lot. Lots of companies do this kind of thing, and more should, using crowdsourcing techniques and so forth. But really the trick is you've just got to believe that engaging your people results not only in an engaged workforce, but also a workforce that is really providing smarter input that leads to a company making smarter strategic decisions for its future.